Prez, talk a little bit about. I saw the other day that you were you gave up your coffee recently, right?
2 years, over 2 years now. No caffeine.
And you're on the Shilajit.
Shilajit for sure.
What's your take on that? Because I've had people ask me about it, and I've never really done too much research on it, but I know it seems to be pretty popular with a lot of the calisthenics guys now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I saw it from the dude Man Time when he was posting up because he's got his own brand of it.
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Mind Pump, Ben Greenfield. So I've heard it. I've heard it in the news. And then I only probably got on it. I only started taking, I think, last April of 2025, right? And it was just because I'm like, yo, I like coffee. I like drinking something hot in the morning. And I was already over a year off. I quit coffee December of 2023. So December of 2025 made 2 years, right? So I was drinking teas in the morning. And I'm like, yo, let me just try this Shilajit out. And honestly, the only thing I ever felt like I've been taking creatine for years. Like I could go on creatine, go off creatine. I could go off fucking Shilajit. I could go on Shilajit. I don't notice anything. I just take it because I know that it's supposedly doing benefits for me, right? The only thing I'm not even going to front that I actually ever feel was NAD, and it's fucking instant, and BPC 157. But those, I'm injecting them into my body, right? So they hit in my blood, they hit in my body, hit my bloodstream like right away. Like NAD, like the most. Like I shoot that, and it's like. It's almost like you're high for a second. Like you feel that shit rushing through your body, and it could be scary for people, but I like it. Like I also quit smoking weed. Today makes day 23, right? I haven't smoked bud in 23 days.
Okay, so you just opened up the can of worms. I was waiting for you to mention that.
Yeah. Let's go.
I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to hit you with this. All right. So I was creeping your page to get some information on you for the interview, right? And what do I come across but this here?
I knew it, bro. Me and Broly, bro. We did a fucking whole collab smoking, bro. We were talking about increasing our lung capacity. Energy. This was me, man. My prime right here. I mean, I was lit back here, man. I was nice back here. Look, you can see how ripped I was. I was fucking lean. This is before the elbow injury.
All right, so
good for you, man. Congratulations.
And you're doing your thing. Okay, so, but now recently, in all seriousness, you're talking about you gave it up, and what are you a few weeks in now, right? You haven't.
So all right, so I always perform good, right? Like I said, we never fucked with me during training, and so I thought, right? So I thought, but like I said, I'm also optimizing everything right now. So I've been off it for 3 weeks. Every single workout I PR'd. Not saying it's because maybe it's because I'm off of the weed. And obviously, so back then, there was a time, I would say that was, what year was that video? 2019? When was that video?
I think it was
21
years ago.
Maybe 21, 22, right? So back, I would say just about that time, around 2022, right? I would literally, I would have to pull up to the park or to the gym, and I would literally have to fucking, if I forgot my blunt, or if I didn't have, I would go back home and get it because I would have to literally be leaving my car, exhaling that last hit before I would start my workout, right? That's how fucking married to it I was, right? That's how a part of my regimen it was, right? Like if I didn't take that last hit right before my training session, I didn't think I was going to be able to perform, right? I wouldn't even want to train because that was like engraved in me. And over the last couple of years, I realized actually I cut back a lot over the last few years. Anyways, like back then I was smoking literally, like I said, probably 6 blunts. When I made that video, I think I was smoking a blunt. He was smoking a joint. I was smoking probably 6 blunts a day back then. I was anti-joints. But then around like 2022, 2023, I'm like, I got to get off the fucking blunts. Let me just start smoking joints. And I went from smoking 7 blunts a day to just smoking 1 blunt. And it would last me 2-3 days. And I would just smoke joints during the day. And then I realized as soon as I made that switch to the joints, the morning J's, I would be like, holy shit, bro, I'm getting super fucking ripped off this, just a few hits. And I realized it was the nicotine from the Dutch that made me smoke so much because I was addicted to the nicotine in the Dutch, right? So that's why I would smoke so many Dutches a day because I would get high, but I would want the nicotine hit. So I was like, I'm smoke again. But then when I cut that down and I started smoking joints, like even right now before I quit, I was maybe smoking max 2 joints a day. And like I said, I would have a blunt rolled, and that blunt would last. I would roll a blunt on like a Monday night, and that blunt would last me Monday, Tuesday, maybe till even Wednesday. And that I would only smoke the blunts at night. So I ain't even saying, I ain't even front. Like, I liked smoking weed, and I don't think I'm not gonna never smoke again. But I know right now I got it under control if I go back, right? And I know that I don't need to smoke during the day. I don't need to smoke to eat. Not that it gave me the munchies. I never had munchies. But like that first week when I quit, I had zero appetite. I lost 8 pounds right away when I quit the first week. And then week 2, my appetite came back, and I guess that was like more of like when you quit smoking cigarettes. So when people quit smoking cigarettes, they usually gain weight, right? And I guess that was the nicotine aspect of the week. The first week was probably the weed withdrawals, and that's why I had no appetite, because I was so used to always smoking before I ate. No matter what, I would smoke before I ate, smoke right after I ate. And again, it wasn't munchies. I was always eating clean, but that first week it was like, yo, I had no appetite at all. And then week 2, my appetite came back rampant, which I put to the fact that, okay, this is the nicotine withdrawal now. My body just wants to fucking make up for that. And so definitely, I mean, weed, I mean, it probably was maybe slowing down my force production. Maybe it was, making me a little slower than I thought, right? Maybe I didn't know that it was having an effect on me. But like I said, even up until before I quit, like I wasn't smoking right before I worked out, right? I was smoking maybe an hour before, and then I would go into my workout or something. So it wasn't like I have to take that last hit right before my session starts, and then I won't be able to train if I don't have that hit, right? I was actually even able to not smoke in the mornings. I always knew I was going to smoke later in the day regardless, right? So I didn't even have to smoke before I trained anymore. So I'm not saying my performance is better now from not smoking. I'm not saying that it's not. Maybe it is better from not smoking, but I definitely still could feel myself, at nighttime, on a long, stressful day. Because some days I'm in the gym with clients I start every single morning, Monday through Friday. My clients either start at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or 5:45 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So I'm up early in the gym, and some days I go till 6 o'clock at night. So those are 12-hour days. And like I come home and I'm stressed out, I just want to relax on the couch. And sometimes I'm like, damn, a joint would feel real good right now, just to fucking, I'm talking about like these last 3 week thoughts of how I'm feeling. A joint would feel nice right now. But, I haven't smoked nothing. I said I'm going to give myself at least 31 days. So if after 31 days I go back and smoke a joint at night, I don't give a fuck. I have no shame of saying I'm smoking joints at night again. And I know it won't be anywhere near as much, because if I do, I know I'm going to get super ripped. So when I was 25 and I quit drinking for those 4 months, and I used to love drinking. When I went back to drinking, I fucking hated it. I don't drink at all. If I drink now, it's 2 times a year, and it's maybe a couple shots each time, right? And I fucking hate it. I haven't been wasted in fucking ages. So like maybe I won't even like smoking weed no more. I don't know. So we'll find all that out.
I mean, I'm amazed because obviously you said in the video that you've been doing it for years and years, and you just explained how much you were doing it, but you were still able to perform.
100%. So, every competition, smoking before everything.
Right. And you could still perform at that level, and I know, the last joint I smoked, I was 19 years old. I was coming back from Manhattan through the Holland Tunnel back into Jersey. It was the last time I ever smoked. But the thing is, I knew I could tell you, I know exactly the feeling that I used to get from it. It would make me paranoid. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? So, and my point is, I couldn't imagine now smoking a joint or whatever, and then going out in the yard and doing 100 pull-ups and 20 push-ups.
I feel you.
I couldn't imagine it.
Exactly. So I don't know if I'm going to like it. Like I said, maybe I'm going to feel so stoned. And so my first time I smoked, I was 13. I hated it also. Then I would say the first 10 times I smoked throughout my teens, I fucking hated it. I didn't start smoking bud until I was 21. And that was when all my boys were smoking. It was just, I'm like, yo, fuck it. I'm going to just start smoking with you guys. And everyone was already smoking a lot earlier than me. Everyone was doing everything early. I was only drinking. They were drinking and smoking, doing fucking yay and everything. I never fucked with nothing except weed. Weed was the only drug I ever did, and alcohol. And like I said, I mean, I used to love alcohol. I fucking hate it now. So who knows? Maybe I won't like weed anymore either. But
you mentioned that, okay, so you're going into the gym And you forgot it. So you said I would go all the way home.
I would go home and smoke.
Like why? Like what was the thought process? What, because I'm not going to be able to perform, or
so there was one time I was probably 25 or 26. I said, yo, let me just try to stop smoking for a week. And I made it 4 days during the day. 4 days during the day. So I would only smoke at night. And I was trying to quit. But those 4 days, every single workout I went into, I fucking caught headaches, crazy headaches. And then I said, all right, on that Friday, I said, I'm going to smoke before my workout. Smoke before my workout, no more headaches. So I'm like, all right, that's it. I got to smoke always before I work out. So that was it. So,
okay. That's great, man.
So on that note, right? So I always do research. I always listen to fucking podcasts, you know. So, you know, Andrew Huberman?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So he just had, you know, Dorian Yates, the bodybuilder. So he just had Dorian Yates on his fucking show. Nice 3-hour podcast, right? Dorian Yates smokes every day. And they're talking about a study that was done in UCLA, a 25-year-long study that I think only concluded in like 2016 or 2018, where they followed cannabis smokers, chronic cannabis smokers who smoked for 25 years every single day, cigarette smokers who smoked every single day, and non-smokers. Obviously, the non-smokers had no markers of like inflammation in their lungs, no cancers or anything. The cigarette smokers, the worst, the highest correlation to cancers, bronchitis, lung infections, just overall chronic infections. The weed smokers, decreased cancer rates because weed, obviously there's benefits of THC for cancer suppression and the way like the cannabinoids hit the cells in the body. There's something where it's like has an effect on cancer in a good way. They did have more cases than the non-smokers, obviously, of, you know, bronchitis or chronic lung infections, depending, wasn't as nowhere near as prominent as the smokers. But the weed smokers had the greatest lung capacity compared to non-smokers and the cigarette smokers. So their lung capacity was higher than all of them. So I always think back. So when I was doing that video with Broly, increased my lung capacity, I'm like, maybe my lungs were fucking up. Maybe I did have strong lungs, but I know for a fact that I hate cardio. I never was like a long distance cardio person. And like, I would get exasperated from that. And I haven't tried to do any cardio since I quit yet, really, besides run around the block, which has always been easy for me. And I actually last year, my goal was in 2025, the winter of 2025, I said, I want to run a mile in 8 minutes. And I was smoking weed all the time back then. And I never ran, and I did that easy. So, I mean, did it really fuck up my lungs? I don't know. But it was more so I just had to get control over it and just wanted to, you know, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't.